Hello, everybody, and welcome to another brand new, exciting adventure. It's Roll20 presents Ravnica, Jace Beleren Must Die, which he must. So every time somebody asks me, is this going to be the episode? I guess if Jace Beleren were like CR2, maybe, if he were CR2, he's got 14 hit points, 11 armor class, 1 attack per round. He can cast cantrips. Yes, you could take him out, no problem. However... So I've been talking about this. I was looking at, we started our Monday show. We started doing Dungeons of the Mad Mage, and I was looking in it for examples of like super tough, cool, badass monsters. And Halaster, the eponymous Mad Mage of that adventure, is probably the most ridiculous monster I've ever seen in D&D. Like, he's crazy. He can cast 4 spells every turn. He casts 1 on his turn, and then 1 after every other person's turn, up to 3 times.
Hang on 1 second.
All right. So he's chucking fireballs and casting haste spells. I love him. I've been bragging about how excited I am to use him. Of course, he's like CR 26, so you have to be like level 20. But I figure...
actually, it says here right here that I'm CR 37.
Yeah, interesting. That's good.
I'm pretty sure
Right,
mine's
I still have 12 hit points.
Good. We're just making up numbers now. I see. That's how it works. Good.
After this
some...
incident, I assume that it's all fluid.
I have some aggressive Amazon Prime delivery people.
Is that what that noise was? I was wondering.
Oh, yeah. That was my doorbell, but I could hear it on all floors. Someone was hitting all the buttons. Like, I hear it down the hall, hear it below me, hear it above me.
Someone just punched the button box. They just punched it.
Like, I gotta deliver. I gotta deliver these multivitamins to Kevin.
They just threw the box at it. They're just like, drink it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, you know what? It's better that than having them just throw it in the bushes and then hope you check there without notifying you at all. So,
well, they leave it like, so I live in an apartment complex and there's a parking lot and they'll just throw it in the parking lot, like on the gravel.
Nice.
Sounds like Chicago.
Yeah, God bless Chicago.
I put it on your roof. Is that?
Is this what you want in the sewer? You want me to lift up the sewer grate?
Just put it in there.
So nobody steals it. I'm just going to put it in the sewer.
I left it with your good friend Leonardo.
I like that Amazon is like taking pictures of where they leave it.
Yeah.
Because I opened it up one day and it was a house down the block.
It was some weird scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
I was like, a game?
I feel like if you're waiting for a package delivery, there's almost nothing more terrifying than the notification left in a secure location. Like horse shit. Horse shit. You threw it in the bushes near my house. You gave it to a random person on the street. It's not true.
One time UPS put a package inside of a garbage bag because it was raining and they just left it by my mailbox on garbage day.
Oh no.
It was okay. I got it. But I was like, why would you do this?
Why would you do this?
You didn't even knock on my door.
We left it under the back wheels of a car that was parked on the street because we figured no one would find it there, right? So yeah,
perfectly fine.
Weirdly, it got run over. Go figure. Well, I hope that I hope Kevin's multivitamins arrived safely and that everything will be okay. It's so good to see all of you. How is everybody? Carlos, what have you been doing since the last time that I saw you? Have you done anything interesting? What's going on with you?
Have I done anything interesting?
Playing role-playing games?
I started going to the gym.
Oh dear.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's good.
I haven't been to the gym in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm too hyper aware of like what's going on, and I'm very much aware of what everyone else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I just assume they're aware of what I'm doing. So I either stay at a machine way too long because I feel like they're judging me. Like he hasn't been on that machine long enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what is he? How many miles has he possibly ran? He couldn't be. Is he gonna quit after 1? I think that. Or I leave too soon. It's just like, he doesn't know what he's doing with that machine. He should just leave. So that's my anxiety.
I feel the same way when I get to the free weights, because especially everyone else who uses free weights is like your biceps are the size of my head. I can see it. I have the direct comparison right there. So when I go for these like 15, maybe 20 pounds, because I'm trying to get definition, I say
That's what you say in your head.
right.
All right.
Exactly. And then like no, I'll grab the like 35s. You know, I can definitely do 35s, and I don't, and I hurt my back,
Mhm.
or you just like do it poorly, where you get no benefit of it. That's why I've like started like I've enjoyed working out at home personally. It's a little more difficult to keep myself accountable because like it's like I find a Google reminder with an incessant alarm is a really nice trick.
Oh,
Yeah.
that does sound nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking about other people the entire time. And then also when I'm running, especially when I'm running for like no good reason.
Right.
Like when I'm running, like I'll be at like a decent pace for myself and I'll be like, yeah, you're doing it, Carlos. And then like someone like smaller or bigger or someone that I think couldn't runs almost twice as fast as me. And I'm like, well, I should just give up. Like there's no way I could possibly do that. Like it's funny. This is a funny therapy session because my therapist actually called and texted me this morning. She called me. I didn't pick up because who picks up their phone?
Yeah, right. Like, what,
No.
it's not. What is that?
She texted me. She's like, hey, I just want you to know that, happy birthday. I know it's your birthday today, blah, blah, blah. And I had to respond back, hey, doctor, thanks so much for the birthday wishes, but it's actually not my birthday. Wish it was, though. Haha, thanks. She replied back a minute ago. She said, oh, well, then have a wonderful day.
So you got the back of the consolation prize. You got the
Yeah,
like, well, it's
still
not your birthday, but I guess you could still have an alright day if you want to.
That was a therapy test. And
Yeah,
you
right.
passed.
Wow, do they do that now? Is that I haven't been to therapy in a while. Do they test you? You get
Oh.
anxiety-inducing
God.
text messages to see how you respond?
Like what if you showed up, what if you were like thanks, and then you show up to your next appointment and they're like, so want to talk about why you lied to me about it?
Oh, that'd be jacked up. Entrapment? You think my therapist is working on entrapment?
No.
That's what I'm saying right now. You cannot trust your therapist.
Yeah, I don't. That's what my other
Only trust
therapist. That's why I
us.
have a second therapist.
Your backup therapist.
My backup therapist.
Your second opinion therapist.
Right, exactly.
You just
Oh,
come in. So
boy.
here's what my therapist said to me this week.
Mhm.
What do you think that's about?
What we're really getting at here is that self-improvement is a difficult challenge and that you really have to dedicate yourself to it's hard. It's hard to do anything to make yourself better, but that's life. That's how it goes. I've just chosen to fail all athletics checks, and I'm just going to keep pushing the therapy stuff down into the deepest recesses until someday it all emerges all at once.
We call that the old-fashioned way.
Yes, I drink a lot of those too. That's also part of the
Yeah.
approach.
Part
Yeah.
of the treatment plan.
Slightly
Around here we
fancy
call
ways.
it being a cowboy. So
That's right. I don't know if you noticed, I'm a man. I'm good at man stuff, like fighting and smoking and punching
Mhm.
and being angry about things. So I'm going to work on those. I'm just going to focus on that. It'll be fine. Thanks to Katie, we learned that there are immortal jellyfish today. Katie,
Yeah,
and
and I
with an
submitted-
assist from a beverage. Do you want to tell me how you learned this fact?
Very, very good intel. I have people on the inside. They opened up a Snapple bottle, and there was a fact on the inside.
Mhm.
I will pull it up. It is real fact, and I will also say that they put real fact in parentheses.
Wait,
Real
when
fact.
you say they, the people that delivered it to you, or Snapple said this?
No, Snapple itself
Okay,
has
oh.
parentheses around
Oh
real
boy,
fact. I
good.
pulled up a picture
Uh-huh.
of the Snapple cap.
Yep.
It says real fact 1469.
Nice.
There is a species of jellyfish that is immortal.
There you go.
And I've submitted that as finite evidence as to why I should have more than 12 hit points. It was rejected.
Listen, it doesn't say in the Snapple cap that you can take a battle axe to this jellyfish over and over and over. It's that it won't die of old age. So
But it also doesn't not say that.
that's
See,
true.
thank you.
I would be disturbed if I opened a bottle of Snapple and the cap said, "Did you know there's a species of jellyfish that you can hit with a battle axe and it won't die?" I would be like, "How do you know this, Snapple scientists?"
Plus, the extended article did say physical assault.
Yeah. Again, who is out there physically assaulting jellyfish is what I want to know.
I don't
Simic
know.
Combine. Answer
Also,
done.
like,
True.
I don't see how turning into a child jellyfish would help it, because that's how these are immortal, chat, is that they turn back into children, so they're essentially ageless.
Mhm.
I don't understand how, like, taking a battle axe to a jellyfish and then it turning into a child jellyfish.
I'm gonna use that for a D&D monster now. You attack this full-grown orc. You deal him 6 damage, and oop, he turns into a baby. What are you gonna do? He's a baby now. He's a baby
Kill
orc.
the baby.
Obviously, we know the answer. Yes, we kill the baby.
What the?
Poor baby orc.
No, it's a baby.
Well, that's the Eternal Dungeons and Dragons.
You
It's
have
the
to
conundrum,
believe
right?
for the part. What?
That's the moral for folks who may not have been exposed to this. This is the first kind of like and primary moral quandary that Dungeons and Dragons presented back when they were publishing the early adventures. There's an adventure in which you find a nest of infant, I think they're kobolds. And the players are meant to decide what to do with these infant kobolds, because they will eventually grow up to become adult kobolds, and they're evil now. They just don't have any evil agency, and they're going to grow up to be adults, and those adult kobolds will do bad things like burn down houses and kill livestock. So do you let them grow up knowing that they are evil no matter what, and they will grow up to be evil creatures, or do you just axe them right now and move on?
Oh my god.
Dungeons and Dragons.
This is the oppression inherent to the system.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons really likes being like, how much of a colonialist?
Yeah, how much? How hard do you want to push that? It's
Like,
certainly
wait, they can be adopted. This society can change.
yeah,
What is
except
actually
except
being
that they
lawful
can't.
good?
That's
What is
the
lawful
thing.
good in this scenario? Yeah.
Exactly. They can't change because they're kobolds. They're evil no matter what. They can't change their alignment. Yeah. Yeah.
I think chaotic evil and like lawful good would agree on that. Like depending on if you like truly played your character right.
Yeah. It's alignment. Alignment is like, it's like in real life how like anarchy and libertarianism are like this far apart if you look at them from the right angle. You're like, ugh. Careful, guys. Chaotic evil, lawful good. They're pretty good friends if you're not careful. Yep. Well, at least they're not jellyfish. At least we only have the one of those and don't have to worry
we
about
were
more.
talking about jellyfish. I forgot.
It's fine. It's good. It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
45 hit points. Was that what we came to?
I don't think I don't think that's the case. I think you have the hit points that the game gives you, and that's how it works.
Temp hit points. That's what 45 temp hit points.
I heard 45 10 hit points, and I've written it down in ink. So here we
Wow.
go, lady.
Good. Good.
So it's gonna be harder to cross it out later.
How I play all my crossword puzzles. Don't tell me I'm wrong. You don't know English.
Mm-mm.
Oh no.
There is something bold about writing your character in ink. It just also means you're going to get a lot more character sheets if you do it that way. But that's fine. That's okay. Let's play some Dungeons and Dragons because we
Heck
got a mom to meet, and that's
I've got
maybe
some
the
time,
most
yeah.
important thing. So last we saw you, brave adventurers. You were headed into the Golgari underground. You were headed down below the surface of Ravnica to escape from those who might be hunting you. You had fought off some blue armbanded goons, and I guess the intent was the one you knocked out was to go back and get him again. But something bad had happened to him, and a cloaked figure had been examining the corpse. You tried to chase that figure down, but it didn't go exactly according to plan, and they escaped with whatever it was that they took. And so the decision was to hide out until things blew over a little bit, because your hideout, your normal place of residence, is kind of like obvious and visible and big, being that it's an enormous turtle creature. And so for now, until the heat blows over, Tack has volunteered to lead the rest of you down to stay with their mom. So I think when we come back, we fade in on the group of you. Now, who remind me, who in the party does not have dark vision?
Oh,
Let me double check.
I have it. Oh, So embarrassing.
Would it be in features and traits? I'd imagine.
Yeah, I feel like Torgor and Winnegar both
Oh, no.
may not have dark vision.
Do not have. Oh yes, we actually in the first episode we found out I do not have dark
That's
vision.
right. Yeah, I think it's the two of you. Okay, all right. So one of you two has a light source. I presume as you go through these tunnels, is it a lantern or?
I have a torch.
Okay, all right. So you're down in a tunnel that I think is equal parts ancient ruin and natural like mud and rock. So we're seeing as you pass through this kind of shallow tunnel somewhere below the surface, you're seeing bits of ancient wall. Maybe sometimes you're walking on old tile. Maybe this was street level at some point, 1,000 years ago, but now it's part of the greater Golgari catacomb system that belongs to the Swarm. You've all heard, and obviously I'm not addressing Tack here because Tack, you know the truth. You live down here. This is your house. But for the rest of you, you've all heard rumors about the kinds of things that dwell below the surface, the kinds of monsters that live down here. This is where the Swarm bring the dead for processing, and not all of them turn into mulch for the fungal like food supply. It's said that a portion of the bodies that are recovered by the Golgari are turned into their undead servants. And so as you navigate these halls, some part of your mind is drawn back to those stories heard in whispers in taverns about the insectoid crawl that live down here, the dead that walk, and maybe on top of all of that, the lurking thought of the elven assassins, the Okran, that work for the Golgari, those who enter these caves unbidden, sometimes disappear and never return. And so there's lots of boogeyman stories about the Golgari. But for you, Tack, this is just another day. This is just another day underground. You're just taking your friends and heading home. But at some point during this navigation, because you're pretty quick, maybe it's the fact that you're used to navigating by dark vision. Maybe the light is throwing you off. Maybe it's all the violence of the last couple of days. But at some point, you get turned around, and you realize, Tack, that you don't know exactly where you are. Now, how long is it between having that revelation and letting everyone else in on the fact that you're lost? How long does that take?
Oh,
Let me roll a d20 for my assholery.
yeah. Pride check, please.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Let me just douchebag check right quick. Oh. How far would you say typically the venture is from surface to Tack's house?
I don't think you've ever been in the neighborhood that you were in before, like when you left.
What was my estimate?
If you had to guess, it shouldn't take you any more than like 2 or 3 hours to find something familiar, right? Like a hub or some kind of like crawl marker post to let you know kind of where things are. Other people might not notice or know this about the underground, but there are like signposts and markers and stuff like that. It's just that surfacers can't read them. But you haven't found any that you recognize. You've seen some crawl markings, but this is not a location you recognize, and it's been a couple of hours.
About 4.5 to 5 hours.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Sure. Does anyone say anything before then? Like it's been, let's imagine it's been, 3 hours or so. And Tack, you have the sneaking suspicion like, maybe I don't know exactly where we are. Does anyone else bring this up, or do you just trust Tack to lead you through the
Road
tunnels?
starts complaining on like hour 2.
Trust Tack.
Mhm.
Very early.
Torgor joins in on the complaining about the 3.5 hour mark, mainly because it's been 90 minutes of complaining and nothing has changed. Also,
Yeah.
Torgor hasn't seen a single scary creature, and he wants to see a big old scary. Like he is dangerous about this, about how much he wants to see a big scary creature.
You're thinking about how you should have fought that giant before, and now you're in this tunnel. And...
Well, no. He's an unleasher, right? So
Yeah.
Torgor works with like big scary monsters all the time.
Oh,
and
that's
now
right.
like, I got a new friend. I could find a new buddy to take back to the troop. Like he think about a giant Golgari worm. Oh, that would be so much fun for the Rakdos.
That's true. Yeah, it would be a fair amount of renown for you too if you were able to like find and bring one of those back. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Rogue's complaining is directly proportional to how sticky and or dirty she has become. So it goes on a scale.
Nice.
So that's just how that is.
Yeah, Winnegar is just taking in the sights. He just like loves it. What is this? What is this? What type of rock is this? Like
Oh my
granite?
God.
I feel like Winnegar would be the most likely to recognize the fact that they've passed like the same cluster of phosphorescent mushrooms like 3 times.
Mhm.
Everything's so beautiful here. This looks like the stuff we saw earlier.
And the third time Winnegar has said that, Torgor takes notice.
Mhm. Okay. So who's the one that suggests that you're lost, or Tack, do you own up to it?
I think Tack, like, as Tack starts to realize that they're lost, they get like, they had started off where they were very excited and they were running on ahead of the group, but now they're like almost in step with the rest of the group, just kind of like looking around.
Mm.
Tack, do you know where we're going?
Of course I know.
Torgor hates to accuse liars, but Torgor thinks you're lying.
Well,
Wait, but
maybe
if
you
you
should
know
just
that
keep
they're
your
lying-
personal issues to yourself.
Tack, Torgor has yet to see any new friends.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Would you like me to walk us into the middle of a den of horrible beasties?
Tack, could you walk us anywhere?
Damn.
Winnegar goes and walks over and looks at some mushrooms. Oh, look at these guys!
Well, maybe it would be easier to navigate if people weren't complaining the whole time, throwing off my attention.
I was helping.
Were you?
Yes, I don't know. I thought that if I stated sort of what was happening, I was letting you know that an hour had passed. I was letting you know that 2 hours had passed. I was letting you know that 3 hours had passed.
I'm sorry we're not
Um,
doing this on your timetable. If you'd like to lead us through the Golgari
Do you
swarm,
have a
then
timetable that you'd
totally
like to
free. Ah! Tack is just like, ah!
How about this, Tack? Torgor is like, you read signs for us and tell us which way is closer to your house. Can you do that?
Yeah,
Do
I
you
can-
have a house?
Do you have
Of course I have a house.
Do you have a house?
Do you actually have a house?
Of course I have a house. Why wouldn't I have a house? Just because I live underground, just because I'm small and a goblin and kind of kill people, why wouldn't I have a house?
not
You know,
sure she has a
Torgor's
house.
never heard of
No.
any stories
house,
about
right?
houses in the Golgari. No one talks about Golgari architecture or home life. And that, you know what I mean? Like, I've never
Is
heard
this
of
your-
it.
Oh my
That's-
God, Torgor, this is their house.
Oh
This
my
is
God,
their
wow.
house. Oh my
you
gosh.
figured it out. Wow, great.
I'm
Tell me
all-
more
all
about your
sewers
above ground
are the
system that tells
Golgari.
you all about the customs of the Golgari and everything. Tell me about how like they don't keep us underground and thus keep information about us in the dark. That's fine.
You know what Torgor would love? A
What?
first-hand storyteller, maybe a narrator who could tell us all these stereotypes are inaccurate. Oh wait, we don't know where that person is.
You guys ever notice that mushrooms are like trees for ants? And like when it gets like it's like mommy and daddy fighting.
Are there any signs anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, you can make a survival roll to try to get your bearings. Right now, the group of you are standing at something of a tunnel intersection. It's like a Y shaped intersection, and it heads off in one direction. and you can see that it kind of like navigates down slightly. The other one stays more or less level, and it's here again, kind of one of those junctures of like a mix of a natural terrain and previously crafted stuff.
I rolled a 17, so an 18 with survival.
Okay. You can roll it in Roll20 so we can get it up on the
Oh,
screen.
I am so sorry.
That's
You
okay.
are correct.
Yeah, that's cool.
This is me.
Wow, I can't believe we just caught TK cheating.
Mhm.
Wow.
You know
It was
what?
a nat
I
20.
trust you,
It
TK,
was a
but
nat-
No, it's cool.
this way we
Oh, I
have-
rolled a
Way
20.
worse.
it's way worse. I know. It's true. Yeah.
Yeah, tax lost.
So I think the thing is you look around and you see, maybe you didn't notice this the first or the second time, and now that you're taking like a good long look at the area, you see that there are some scratched markings, and I imagine because the crawl have like they have opposable thumbs. They can pick things up, but I think that their writing is probably like a sort of cuneiform, like it scratches. You see a crawl marking on the wall that indicates that this is the territory of a like a crawl hive, and that outsiders are not welcome here. Does anybody else speak crawl? I imagine only Tack does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So nobody, I don't think anybody else recognizes this from like a. It's not. Yeah, it doesn't tell you that it's anything other than some strange scratches on the wall.
Why do
Okay.
I speak goblin?
That's a great question.
Sorry,
Maybe Tack taught you.
Maybe. Very basic.
It's just picked up from like tech grumbling. Okay, so I see this sign
Mm-hmm.
and it has on it that we're really not supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a problem. And Tack like looks at it and then like looks at the two of them and says, "Oh, we're almost there."
Good. Okay.
You said that. You've said that twice to me before already. And that was at the hour 20 mark and the 2:35 mark.
You keeping a
and-
log?
The rudest log.
Torgar's like, no. Tech now knows that we knew they were lying, so they wouldn't lie to us now.
It's true.
Right. Yeah.
I have nothing to gain.
You call somebody out once and it fixes them forever.
It's
Exactly.
And this isn't your house?
true. No, I have an actual house.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right.
Well, my mom does.
So the idea here, Tack, is to press on, despite the fact that you're in a neighborhood you don't belong in.
Yeah, but like
Okay.
try to find my way out of this neighborhood.
Yeah, right. Try to sort of skirt the danger.
Try to be like, no, we're totally almost there. But also, maybe we don't go in this direction. Maybe we go in another direction.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Tech, we're at a Y, like a fork in the road in the
Yeah.
intersection. So right or left?
Left is fine.
Okay.
Wait, what did you say?
It's fine.
It's fine.
Left is fine.
Can I roll an insight to
One
see if I can?
Yeah, I think so at this point. Yes.
Definitely.
Can I also roll?
Yeah. So Tack, make a deception check. Make a deception check, and then everybody else can try to see through Tack's 9.
Oh,
Nope.
man.
That's okay. That's Road's. Road got a 9. So Road, you. Oh my God, did it work? No, so close. Okay, so here's how it shakes out. So Tack gets a 16 on the deception, and then Road and Torgor both are fooled to get a 9 and a 3, but not you, Winnegar. Something's not right about this.
Winnegar's been paying attention to the mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably picked a mushroom from every cluster.
Yeah, little mushroom bouquet.
He's got like 8 mushrooms and he's like, hey, this one fits
Half of them are
perfectly.
Yeah, ikebana, but fungus. So yeah, Winnegar, what do you say anything or do anything when you realize that Tack is full of shit?
So Winnegar, while like Rhodes and Torgor are having like their little conversation about lying, like how you know a liar, Winnegar just like goes over to Tack with some mushrooms and kind of like leans over and be like, "Hey, Tack, you don't know where we're going, do you?
If you eat one of those mushrooms, I'll give you a gold piece.
What? We're not doing this again. I'm not falling for that again, Tack.
Well, actually, it's a Xeno, I believe.
It's
You already owe me so many zibs for eating so much other stuff. Tack, you don't know where you're going.
Okay, look, do you know where we're going?
No, I don't, but we should all be in on not the not knowing part.
Why?
Because
Because why?
maybe there's other things that we can like perceive or investigate. Tack.
Like what? Like what? Give me a specific reason.
Like this over here, and I want to do an investigation on what we have going on.
Yeah, you want to try to get a handle on the situation generally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's perception, right? Just like taking stock of the situation. If
I
you
hope
had,
you roll a 1 and just pick up a rock.
What's this rock?
hey, you got an 11.
11.
Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, so I mean, what do you want to know, Winnegar? Like, what are you curious about here? What are you trying to figure out?
You know, based on like what Tack has told us about her mother or where her mother lives, this is a fork in the road. So like, is one part of the road, does it look different than the other? Like, does one have more foot traffic going someplace? Like that can lead us somewhere. Do I notice our footprints? Like we have a minotaur. Do I notice their footprints if we've gone in a circle?
I think, yeah, you haven't been to this specific intersection before. Like you wandered around in a very circuitous route and ended up here. The two tunnels before you, one of them seems to lead, like I said, leads down into what might be a ruin of some former neighborhood or borough of Upper Ravnica from millennia past. The other seems to be a more naturally hewn tunnel that runs like flat with where you are.
Okay.
But you haven't been here yet.
Cool. I relay all that information to Tack. Tack, when you remember your place or where we're going, which one sounds like it would belong?
Which one what?
To like the two locations I just described. Ruins, Ravnica ruins, not so much. What?
I mean, they both sound okay.
I'm not asking if they sound okay, but I'm asking like what do you? Oh God, Tack.
Fine, the ruins sound great.
Well, I still don't know if you're actually thinking about it or and then I relay the information to the rest of the group.
Why would I think about it? I know where my house is.
Yeah, like Tech, you have a great idea of where you are, and you have a great idea of where your house is. It's just all the stuff in the middle that you're not totally sure about.
There's
some stuff.
A bleh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
right
all
now,
we do is
knowing-
we turn and then we're there.
Well, I relay the information to Rhodes and Torgor, just like that. I don't think Tack knows where we're going, and two, this is what I think is on either where it leads. So like, what do you think best case scenario is?
Can Torward do an investigation of the two different paths?
Yeah, what are you investigating? Like
Just like the
stonework, the
stonework, the foot traffic.
Yeah, I think this is sort of key too. Like the area down here, there's not a lot of kind of incidental environmental like dust or anything. The ground is pretty like dry and like stone, so it's hard to track footprints.
Okay.
You do notice. We'll make an investigation check as you look for fine details.
Just to see where I am at.
You get a 5.
Okay.
You're underground for sure.
Yes. Guys, we're definitely underground.
Yeah, you're in a tunnel. Your friends are here. You're a minotaur, so you got that covered. I think that's about it. That's all the information you're capable of figuring out right about now. So while everyone is discussing this, I think Road, you hear something in the tunnel behind you. You hear like a faint clattering sound. Maybe some clicking noises from the tunnel behind you.
Shh. Everybody shut up.
Hey, Rhodes, what's going on?
What's up? Road, what?
It echoes. Minotaur loud off the walls. Rod, if you want to make a perception check, if you try to shush everybody, like you want to listen.
I'd love to.
Oh dear,
Why?
that's a 5. You got a 5. It's good.
Thanks.
Wow. Man, that's good stuff. Everybody's rolling great today.
Everyone's doing a very good job so far. Me included.
Okay, yeah, you don't hear it again. It's like you hear it once, and then you get ready to shush to the point where you're like, maybe you're just hearing things. Maybe you didn't. Maybe there wasn't anything.
I was wrong. I thought I heard something, but clearly it was just your arguing. So guess I'm still good. All right. Well, do we just want to choose one because no one knows what's happening? Can I look for a way above ground?
Above you is only rock, and maybe it occurs to you you have no idea how far below the surface of the plane you are. Are you? I was saying, is Road claustrophobic at all? Like,
Yeah,
are you having a moment now?
Her skin is like itching. She's like, I don't know.
Torgor's like, I don't think anyone would live in old ruins other than monsters. And Torgor wants to see monsters.
We're
But-
not.
But not now, Road. Yes, I see. Okay, so we should take clean, even path, right?
Yes, less sticky.
Right? Is that right?
Yeah, Tack, what do you think? You just like still trying to decide? Tack chuckles nervously.
God. But also, I really did forget where Tack's mom lives.
Yeah.
Like TK did.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't actually determined it, right? We haven't talked about that yet. So your this is the thing about the Golgari is they tend to be there are a bunch of different kinds of creatures that belong to the swarm. It is a broad guild made up of a bunch of different kinds of creatures, but within it there is sort of internal division, right? Like the Devkarin keep kind of to themselves. The Crawl have their hives throughout the underground. So there's not a ton of crossover. So your
I feel
mother
like we discussed my
Yeah.
mom living in the ruins.
Yeah, so she would live in like with other Devkarin, she would live in one of the kind of there's this like sepulchral grace to some of these places, right? Like these big wide open spaces underground, these enormous caverns where there were collapses, and so there would be like towers and buildings, but above you instead of the sky, there's the ceiling of kind of like a Menzoberranzan effect, right? Where you're like deep underground. The elves, the Devkarin tend to be there. Many of the Golgari like temples and stuff are in those kinds of places. But because of some political situation that I don't know how tuned in Tack is to it, your mom's like a bit of an outcast, right? She still lives in that area, but not, in one of the big like estates or whatever. Certainly below her status. Would indicate. But yeah, that'd be where you would think to go. You would want to like pull towards the more sort of
Tack,
civilized parts of the underground.
When Tack was like, "Oh, the ruins sound good," like Tack's like, "No, we should go to the ruins," but Tack is not good at communicating that because they're more afraid of being like obviously wrong.
Yeah, and I think
than they are of dying.
Winnegar, you pick that up, and here's the thing about the Izzet League, like that's not so much. You've seen some like people who are unwilling to be wrong, and certainly people unwilling to admit that their experiments are flawed. But it's in an academic context, right? It's like, if you can get a bad result, it's better than no result at all. But you're definitely aware, Winnegar, with your 20 insight, that Tack is struggling a little right now, and everybody's attention is on them, and they're feeling a little like put on the
Maybe I
spot.
just need a friend right now.
Yeah.
Aw.
So
Don't be Tack's friend.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Tack looks
One-
kind of pitiful.
The person who says they don't need a friend is the one who needs a friend the most.
Tack puts their hand on their melon baller.
Fucking dare you! I dare you to friend me. Do it.
I feel ya, friend.
Yeah, so I'm at a loss. So the group wants to go to the even
Well,
path.
Torgor is like really like asking the group, like,
Yeah.
does my reasoning sound right? Is that okay?
We should go this way. Tack points towards the ruin past
Yeah, yeah, the like the path that sort of turns into stairs and heads down.
Confident?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
Worst
yeah.
thing comes to worst,
I
we're
don't
back
know
here.
either way. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, we could
Let's
go the
go.
way you want to go if you want.
No, we'll probably be back here, and Torgor can find out what's down this path later.
That's true. Our paths do seem to be circular in a way. It's like we're always hunting down death because we're afraid of what life could really mean
Oh
without.
my god. Oh my god. Let's just go.
Okay, Torgor has not had a bunt cake in hours. He can't come. Just walk.
That just like goes down the path, but you can hear their voice like echoing on the walls. Like maybe I am really just chasing my own demise, afraid of a life of peace, and having to be alone with myself and my thoughts and my problems. It's like just keeps going down.
I think Tech's going through an existential crisis, guys.
Or are we just gonna let them
Attack the freshman philosophy major.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Tex starts writing some really angsty rap lyrics. It's great. Yeah.
I've written a slam about this.
Quick chat. I need a Ravnica name for like Lincoln Park. I expect that in 5 minutes. Thank you.
All right, so you begin heading down this staircase, and you're moving away from the natural tunnels and more into an area that's been repurposed and kind of like excavated, much like you would see dinosaur bones emerging from ancient stone. We see walls start to form around you. You see a window that at one point was open to maybe a park or something, but now there's only rock wall behind it. This place has been naturally eroded and mechanically like carved out. And as you get further down, the stone gives way to this like tile floor, and you walk out into a plaza. There is a set of broken columns that sort of surrounds this open area. There's a section in the middle that might have been a fountain at one point, and now from that fountain, there is some kind of like fungal garden that has been planted and is being tended here. So hundreds of tiny, slightly phosphorescent mushrooms create a bed, and then from it, taller, strange kind of spore fronds emerge up from this central bed. And as you look around, you can see that there's a growth of some kind on the walls and on the columns that looks like a kind of like grayish, like a papery material. You don't, I think, recognize it as a glance, but it looks like it's been secreted or like draped across all of the stonework here, and around this mushroom garden. There are several tunnels leading out, but to navigate this area, you'll have to pass through kind of the like fungal bloom in the center.
Is this something that TAC recognizes now?
You can make a nature check if you want to. Yeah. So this area, there's two things. So one, the spore garden is like a birthing pod for thalids, which are like a fungal, semi-autonomous like fungal creature that is used for like manual labor by several members of the Golgari swarm. Yeah, they're little kind of like semi-mindless fungal creatures, and this is a place that grows them. And the excretions are like crawl, like hive papering. So they're kind of like wasps. They like chew up material and they spit out this stuff they used to build. So you've wandered into a crawl thalid garden.
All right. Do I have any sense of knowing whether or not whether these are empty?
Yeah. You got a 16 in your check, so if you want to go over and take a closer look. Yeah, I could answer that question for you.
I would. Yeah, I'm gonna do it, but I'm also gonna like pull out the rapier for the pokins just in case, just to like not to stab, but just to like tap the daubing, just to. Okay, I would love to investigate further, at least one of them near the entrance.
Yeah. Okay. So as you get closer to it, I mean, they're all kind of clustered around this central area. As you get closer to it, yeah, you can see that these are all kind of either food fungus for the growing like pods. It looks like a fairly freshly installed garden. This area has been claimed by the crawl relatively recently.
Oh,
None of the thalids are full grown. You can see some of the spore pods starting to grow, but
So these are early inception.
yeah, they've just been installed.
Tack throws a little thumbs up.
Mm-hmm. So, Road, you hear that noise again from the tunnel that you just came from. You hear like a clicking, as if like somebody dropped like some rock, like some small rocks or pebbles or something. You know, like a clicking sound from the staircase you just descended.
I go. I turn around and I head towards the sound making.
Yeah, you leave the
Yes.
the pool of light that Torgor, because you don't need it, you can see, but
Yeah, I can see.
yeah, okay.
I like. I don't trust any of them to not be loud about it. Nope, I go by myself.
Okay, and are you trying to like sneak? Or are you like trying to go
Yes.
quietly? Okay, yeah, make a stealth
Yes.
roll.
Oh, it feels so
Oh,
good to be
hell
back.
yeah.
All right, would you get? You got a
22.
22? Okay.
Yes.
All right. It's good to be sneaky. Okay. I only got a 15 to oppose you, so you see the creatures that have been following you. You barely get out of the light, out of the pool of light, and as your eyes adjust to the darkness, you see 3 human-sized crawl. I don't know if Road has ever seen a crawl before. They don't really leave the underground very often. Sometimes you'll see them flying in like swarms above areas that lead directly into their hives. They're humanoid insects basically. So they have like an insectoid kind of like thorax with 2 big long legs sticking out of them that end in points. And then they're like centaurs kind of from the waist up. They're more human shaped. They have like a torso and 2 long arms with hands, like 3-fingered hands. And then they have a sort of mantis-like head with like mandibles up on the front. These ones are all like dark green, which their coloring and the patterns on them indicate something. One of them, as they're speaking to each other quietly, because you sneak up on them, as they're speaking to each other, you can hear their strange kind of buzzing, like clicking language with their mandibles. One of them's carapace sort of flicks open and shut, and you can see little wings underneath. And they're sort of hunkered down. They've been following you. They all have spears. And they seem to be talking about like what to do next. You can see from here how easy it's been to follow you, because you turn and look back at your friends and there's this big pool of light in what's otherwise a completely like pitch black place. But you're hiding in the shadow at the edge of that light, and the 3 of them do not seem to have noticed you yet.
Okay. I would like to back away.
Mm-hmm.
And try to get back to Tack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can just go back down the stairs. They're basically hiding right at the edge of the pool of light.
Mm-hmm.
And when I get back to Tack, I like lean down and I'm like, I assume your mom's not like 3 bugs. Right?
It's like smart. Let's not kill her mom. That's great.
I assume your mom's not 3 bugs.
That's the Hallmark greeting card for you right there.
Tack like
I don't know the woman, but I assume she's not 3 huge insect people.
Impossible, right? Right? Just asking.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's good. But it's Tack, so who knows?
Yeah.
peers up through like these squinty eyes, is like, "You're tired, so I know you don't mean that to be insulting." No. Now, Tack has lived an entire life underground among the Krull and everything.
Yeah.
They probably know that there's some manner of patrols that are meant to ensure the safety of these pods and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
how much does Tack know how to like approach this? Like we sheath all our weapons and like walk through this area with our hands like above our heads, like away from touching things. Like does Tack know anything about like diffusing a situation like this?
Well, there's no etiquette skill, but we talked a little bit last time about like changing religion out to be like a guild skill. I think in this case there's a bunch of options. I think trying to figure out what the etiquette of this situation would be like a charisma roll of some. Let's make it a charisma saving throw. Let's just make it a charisma save because it's avoiding danger by knowing the right thing to do personality wise.
You want me to go ahead and make that?
Yeah, please, if you could. Yeah, -2. So the correct thing to do, so you're pretty sure this is either for crawl warriors or grizzly bears. You have to make yourself as big as possible.
That's a negative
It's
one.
a negative
Chat.
one. Yeah.
On podcast.
So
Negative
it's
one.
yeah, you can't remember. It's either bears or the crawl. And for one of them, you're supposed to make yourself as big as possible and wave your arms and yell and like bang pots and pans and like try to scare them, right? By making like make yourself really huge. It might be these guys. You can't remember. You haven't interacted with the crawl in a long time.
Tack? Oh no. Okay. I'm so sorry, party. And
It's okay.
for the podcast, I'm leaning forward and like putting my hands together and begging their forgiveness.
We have like 20 hit points combined.
Well, what's great?
I have 2 hit points.
Yeah, what's great here is Tack is the most injured of all of you. So
Tack has 8 wisdom.
Mhm.
So you can guarantee this is a mistake. And Tack's gonna do it.
Mhm.
So Tack like confidently pushes their way through the rest of the party and starts down this hallway, which they can see through because they have dark vision.
Okay, yeah. So you leave
And-
the light.
Yep.
Okay. And so you'll come face to face then right away with the 3.
yeah?
You're making no effort to hide. The 3 of them turn, and as you walk out into the shadow, you do indeed see 3 crawl warriors, and 2 of them are kind of like on the floor. One of them is partway up on the ceiling, like clinging to the ceiling, and they look at you as you approach. Your eyes adjust, the light falling behind you. And they brandish their spears. I'll give you a chance to say something first before they.
Tack's
say
going.
Do-
Tack's gonna switch to crawl,
Uh-huh.
and so the rest of the group will hear very like loud like clicking and whirring and buzzing,
Mm-hmm.
and say, "No." No. Yeah. That's what you get going like, no, Tack, I like you so much. I'm sorry you're gonna die today. Tack's gonna be like, We're Legion. Turn back now or die.
Perfect. Good. Yes. Tiny little goblin comes out waving a melon baller. Crawl.
I have not taken it.
Oh, you haven't. You're just like, waving
doing
your.
this with my arms.
Okay. Yeah. Good. And crawl is like a very difficult language to speak if your bottom jaw doesn't separate. So you're pretty sure your accent's pretty bad, but you can get the words out. Yeah. Make an intimidation check.
I like how someone in the chat is like, Tack's gonna give it to you. And I guarantee this will be like Mr. X coming in just slapping me straight in the face.
Yeah, make that intimidation check.
With my negative.
Whoa, so intimidating.
Oh my god.
So intimidating.
Okay, I'll make a wisdom save for these. So that you got a 17 despite your -2. Despite your -2. I also rolled a 17. So Ty goes to the defender. So in this case, you're terribly intimidating, but they are unafraid. I think maybe you startle them. So they kind of like skitter back slightly and then realize like, oh, it's just one goblin. And the lead, the one that we saw the wings kind of like flickering from before, it does kind of the same, like it does that praying mantis thing where it gets up on its legs like as high as it can and it flaps its wings open and it has these like iridescent like emerald wings that pop out of the back of its carapace and they flicker and it kind of hisses at you.
The rest of us see this now, right? Like we're paying attention to what's happening.
Torgor and Winnegar, you can't. You hear all the noises coming from just outside the edge of your torchlight. Road, you see this happening. But if you moved the light forward, yeah, you would see it. So you let me know if that's what you want to do.
I think Torgor, while hearing this happen, starts like doesn't see Tack but hears Tack.
Yeah.
So starts following a little bit with the torch out.
Okay.
And also, in his other hand, prepping his heavy crossbow.
Yeah, it's just getting your crossbow out. Okay.
Yeah.
So heavy crossbow takes 2 hands to use. So you have to pass the torch to Winnegar or Road.
Yeah. I'll pass the torch to Winnegar.
Okay, so you're like loading up your crossbow. Okay. Yeah. So this crawl makes itself all like big and hisses at you and kind of does that thing where it like snaps at you in the air to try to push you back. It's not attacking you outright though, which is interesting. And I think that it says, as it tries to drive you back, it looks down and in crawl. So for everybody else, you just hear like the buzzing and the clicking. It says, far from home, little goblin. This is hive territory. You and your friends look like prey. And the other two kind of like hiss and like scratch their claws against the floor.
Are they like the cops?
Tack has made a grave error, and I'm not too proud as TK to say that Tack has done this. I'm going to go ahead and say that Tack, realizing they have only 2 hit points and are near death, looks at this situation and then says back and crawl, realizing that none of their friends speak crawl. We're kind of lost. Can you actually point me towards my house? Because I'm not really sure where I am, and I don't want to admit to anybody that I don't know where we're going. Please help.
Nice. Okay. Make a
honesty.
Make a persuade check. Like, listen, we're just lost, and we don't need to make this a big thing. Yeah, 9.
Okay,
Good.
it's okay. What do they roll against it? What do they roll against it?
I think in this case, like. They're not trying to resist. It's just like, can you turn the conversation towards like kindness? And I think that in this case, a 9 is just, it's not sufficient for them to take pity on you.
No,
It's like
please.
well below average. So I think that the lead crawl steps forward again, kind of like this looming over you with their spear, and they look down and they kind of lean in and they say, little goblin flesh, some fertilizer for the garden, I think. And it points the spear at you and says, perhaps we will be merciful. Your friends won't have to watch you die. And it looks up, and I think the closest, now that the light is like here, who's the closest person? Like Torgor, you're coming forward, you and Winnegar, but Road, you can see in the dark. Who's the person that would be the next person behind?
I'm like, I've been pretty close to.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you
Please
wanted to
make
stay
my
hidden or
friends
not,
watch me die.
Road.
Please make
I
my
think-
friends watch me die, please.
I think
That'd be
Torgor
ideal.
would probably come up closer
Okay. All right.
because he's still curious, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So the crawl, the warrior looks at you, Torgor, and says, "The hive will be merciful. We will let," and this is in common, "we will let the 3 of you go if you leave the goblin with us." It's dripping from his mandibles.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Tack just does like a.
It's silent for a little bit.
Yeah, roasting.
Everyone thinks about it. Everyone truly thinks about it.
You know, that's fair. I deserve it.
Winnegar comes around the corner. He's like, "Hey, who are these guys?" And he's just like holding his torch.
Yeah, hey guys. So you notice, Winnegar, that this crawl, like the 3 of them are unadorned, save for like markings that you wouldn't recognize the detail of, but they have like ritual like scratch markings on some of their carapace. But the one in the front has some kind of like gorget or like neck thing. Like it's just a piece of like metal with a like a little glass like hemi like bulb on it. And it's sitting on the front of its carapace. It doesn't seem to be like implanted, but it's like a gorget or a necklace or something made out of metal. It's like an odd thing that separates this one from the other 2.
My name is Winnegar. This is Torgor, Tack, and Rhodes. We are lost.
You just point at the shadow, like there's another one right there. She's right there. And
over there.
The one in charge nods his head, and as it speaks, you can see the little bulb thing on its neck piece glowing, and it says we are the speaker for this hive. We understand you, Vidalkin. We will take we will take the goblin as payment for passing through our hive. The rest of you may go.
Oh. Is there any other form of payment that you would take? They would be interested in?
And it casts these like segmented eyes over the group of you, and it says, "The Minotaur's life would also be acceptable."
Oh, okay.
At this moment, Torgor fires the crossbow directly at the leader.
You're like, "I got a present for you!" Blam!
Tack's like,
So offended.
Sure, yeah, do it. Do it. Rock and roll. Go for it, Torgor. Do it.
Okay, so I gotta.
As soon as Torgor fires his crossbow, and it goes flying past, like
He's just in his head. He's like, one thing. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how much I try.
Do I have advantage because they're not expecting it?
I mean, I think in this case the situation is already pretty charged, so they saw you with the crossbow.
like Torgor shoots and Tack's just like, oh, thank the peacock.
So you fire, and and the crossbow deflects off of the carapace of the leader, who like hisses, and the others kind of rear up, and they're gonna attack you if you're shooting crossbow bolts at them. Cool. So let's do that. Let's make that
Roll
happen.
initiative.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me clear the initiative order here, and we'll do it up.
Oh, I have my key points back.
Perfect.
Okay. At least
I
I
love
can make
this.
it out. All right.
Okay.
Okay, Torgor, select.
Here we go.
Here we go. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Good initiative.
Beautiful. I'd love to see that happen.
Good.
Oh,
Feels
beautiful.
Oh, you know what I'm using that for.
All right, so Tack got a 23. Torgor, you got a 1. The Crawl got a 13. Winnegar got a 21. Okay. And
Average at
Road,
best.
you got a 10. Okay. I think I'm gonna roll. There you go. Let me
Nice
roll. I'm gonna
job.
roll a d20. I'm gonna give them a check to see if they actually noticed you, Road, or not, because your hiding was only really given away by Winnegar pointing in your direction. So I'll give them I'll say it gives them another chance to spot you. But you rolled great. I got an 8,
Nice.
so they don't see you. So you're technically hidden at the beginning of this fight. Okay, so Tack, you hear the twang of a crossbow and the sound of things going wrong. What do you want to do? You're maybe like, this is all happening quite close quarters, right? Like I don't have like a full map for it, but we can kind of halfway theater in mind this thing. So the group of you, like Tack, you're kind of like here, and then everybody else is like, like back up here. I don't think they're in like melee range of you yet.
Oh.
But they're like a little ways away. So you're kind of spread out like this. There's this hallway. The hallway's maybe like 15 feet wide. The ceiling is 10 feet above you. It's kind of like a squat arch. And one of the crawl is kind of up on the ceiling. They can just like run around on the ceiling and stuff. And then the other two are on the floor. They all have spears. Tack, it is your turn. What are you going to do?
So like, my mom taught me a lot of lessons when I was a kid. And the number one is if you can move. If you can attack. But if you can use your bonus action for nimble escape to disengage and run behind the big guy, you should absolutely do that. I would like to do that.
Man, I wish my parents had taught me life lessons using mechanisms of whatever underlying role-playing game the world uses. Like, listen, Tack, I'm going to tell you something. As your parent here, I need you to know this. During your turn, you're going to get 3 chances. You get an action, you get a move, and you get a bonus action. Now, the older you get, the more options you're going to have for your bonus action, honey.
It's true. And the thing is that, like, goblins weren't even a playable race when my mom was teaching me D&D. So that's
When I was your age, we couldn't even be a goblin. Kids today, they got all these genders. I don't know what's going on.
got all these classes, multi-class.
That's right. When I was a kid, you could be a fighter, a cleric, a wizard, or a thief. Nothing else. None of this craziness.
I would love to like disengage
Uh-huh.
and run and hide behind Torgor, like look over at Winnegar, like, "Hey, friend."
Yeah. So you don't have to disengage. So you can move and you can use your action to actually hide behind Torgor because Torgor is big enough to hide you, right?
Okay, that's fine. I didn't know because they have like spears, so I didn't. know if they-
They're within spear throwing range, but they're not.
Okay, cool,
yeah.
cool. I didn't know if I had to like. That's fine. And I'm just gonna, nimble escape hide then.
Yeah, do it. So roll your sneaky there.
Nice.
Nice. So hidden.
So
Okay, so we'll use the red bubble to indicate how well hidden. And you got a can you get a 22 on your sneak?
What, a 24?
No, for when Road was hiding. Yeah, stealth 22 for Road.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the crossbow fires, bounces off the shell of the lead crawl, and then Tack goes running, slides under your legs, Torgo, and disappears. Winnegar, it is your turn. You have a torch in one hand. What would you like to do?
As soon like I want to drop the torch like on the ground and cast Shocking Grasp.
If you flat out drop the torch, there is a chance it will go out.
Oh,
You can still do it, but there's a chance that it will extinguish in the process. Now, if you want to, you can like gently set it down, but that takes a lot more effort. You can also still cast with it in your hand. Like you don't have to put it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that then.
Okay.
So are they wearing armor at all or no?
They're made of armor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they
Metal
have a
or-
carapace. No, so it's just like chitin.
Cool. So he winds up and click.
So let's see here for Shocking Grasp. You'll have to, and this is the danger of Shocking Grasp. It is a touch spell, so you will have to run up and grasp them.
Gotcha.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah. The guy who was right in front of me.
Okay.
I love our tank.
Oh no.
So brave. Such a failure.
I tried so hard and got so far. In the end,
This house,
it doesn't even matter.
So you come running forward. Your is it spellcasting apparatus begin to hum, energy coursing through your hand, and you reach out, and the crawl like slaps you aside, and the charge dissipates in the empty air.
Static fingers. Ah!
So the one in front of you, Winnegar, is going to engage with you. The other two skitter across the wall and engage Torgor. So they come pouring over and lunge towards you. And the one in front of you, Winnegar, is going to attack with the spear. Gets a 23,
Oh yeah, that hits.
and you take 3 damage. Take 3.
Oh no. It's like I'm paranoid.
Get out of here! You take
Get
100
outta here.
damage.
Stop.
So you take 3
so
damage.
mad.
So you lunge at him with the crackling energy in your hand, and he slaps you aside and stabs you in the thigh with his spear. So you take 3 damage, and then the other two go after Torgor with their spears.
Mhm.
The first one misses, gets a 7.
Nice.
And the second one gets
Lower than a 16?
Gets a 9.
Yes.
The two of them, yeah. So you're able to fight them off. You've still got your crossbow in your hand. And Road, it is your turn. None of these crawl warriors seem to notice you. You are hidden in the shadows.
All right, I'm gonna go help Winnegar.
Okay.
Smart.
All right, so I'm heading over. I guess coming in from behind if possible.
Sure. Yeah.
And just let's just try some unarmed monk punching. You know, that There's nothing very interesting to say about punching.
I mean,
But, you know.
I feel like every kung fu movie in the history of
Chop.
time would disagree with you,
Right.
vis-a-vis the interesting punching. But
I know,
yeah.
but they don't say anything about it. They're not like, look at this interesting slice of my hand. Wow, that arc in which I go in is just devastating.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm doing.
Okay. So
Oh.
you have
Oh my gosh.
you're hidden, so you have advantage in your first attack, and then
Okay.
you are not hidden any longer. So you
Okay.
you emerge from the shadows with an interesting slice of the hand, and you strike the crawl warrior. Yeah, let's go ahead and roll your
For
damage.
4 bludgeoning damage.
Nice. Okay.
And then I'm going to flurry of blows that.
Yeah.
So there's an additional 2 attacks.
Okay. Do it.
12.
The second attack is not a hit. I mean, it's a hit, but their armor is so thick that you just like punch the shell.
Great. And the third is an unnatural 20
That one is a hit.
for another 4 damage.
Nice. Okay. All right. So Winnegar Road appears out of the shadows with a series of pressure point attacks on the crawl, 2 of which hit home in the area between the plates, and the crawl hisses in surprise and anger and wheels around to face Road.
Oh, look at the angle that Rhodes' hands move.
Yeah.
So graceful.
Torgor, it is your turn.
I move to switch to my maul
Mm-hmm.
and attempt to hit the one directly in front of me with my maul.
Yeah, do it. You swing out. You get a 7. You
Beautiful.
Swing out with your mole. The crawl skitters backwards with insectile grace, and you instead clout the air in front of you.
Leave a huge divot in the ground.
That's right. Yeah, you smash the wall next to it, and chunks of stone. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like just because you missed doesn't mean you're not swinging with like massive amounts of strength.
Right. No. Torgor knows.
Tack. It is your turn.
When Torgor swings around with his big maul, Tak's gonna peek up from where they were hiding and move around him to stab with their rapier.
Okay.
That one directly in front of him.
Okay.
So since I was hiding, where's my rapier? Here it is. Sorry.
So
I
you
don't
want to
have
be like kind of over here, or do you want to be like completely on the other side?
I would have moved like to the side of him, to the side of this thing, and then like run back.
Yeah,
Since
right.
I didn't do anything, so I'm a slide back behind him with my nimble escape again. and-
Okay. Okay. So you're not hidden anymore, but you you pop out. Ha! You get an 11. You stab him right in the leg, but he's so busy dodging Torgor he doesn't even notice. And you're like, bye, and like roll back out of the way.
Did it hit it all or no?
No, an 11 is
No,
not enough. These things
11, I
are
didn't
fairly well armored. Winnegar, it's
run
your turn.
Man, I wish we would have rested, guys.
Yeah, right.
This guy's right in front of me, though, right?
Mhm, yep.
Okay. I gotta try static fingers again, which is shocking grasp for anyone who knows real magic.
Yeah, real spell names.
Jeez, guys.
Okay. I clicked it. It's going really slow.
Yeah, sometimes it'll take a second to.
It's good for the anticipation.
Yeah,
I
no,
like
he's-
it.
And Tissa.
there it is.
Oh,
So close. You do not hit him.
What?
Yeah, you don't hit
Oh,
him.
God. These
With-
guys.
Yeah. Yep. So you like reach out and try to get him, and he like staggers to the side, and you grab empty air, discharging the shocking grasp.
Oh, no.
Would you like to do anything with your bonus action or your movement?
What's around us? Can I like dip somewhere?
Yeah, I mean there's the behind you, there is the fungal garden, right? And then behind them is the stairs that lead back up to that Y intersection somewhere further up in the tunnels.
I want. Okay, tell me if I can do this.
Yeah.
Can I like sweep up the torch and run to the fungal garden?
Yeah, you still have the torch in your hand, right? You never dropped it, so you got it.
Oh,
But yeah,
yeah,
if you want to just run off, the only thing here is if you run off, he'll get one more like swipe at you. because you haven't disengaged. But yes, you could do that.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah. And let him
Yeah.
take that shot at you. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So he takes a swing as you turn to run. He misses. You got a
Nice.
10. That's good. Very good for you. Yep. And then you run off. Yeah. And I think you'll get from here. You cross the bottom of the hall and run out into the fungal garden, and then you can do whatever terrible thing I think you're about to do on your next turn,
But
or threaten
I'm not
to
gonna
do it. You're
Oh,
just
yeah,
gonna threaten.
definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So the two warriors are going to attack Torgor.
Let's do it.
So here's the first one. I think it's an
Yes.
8. And the second one gets a 20.
Okay, that happens.
Just a regular one. So you take 6 piercing damage.
Got it.
And then Road fighting this other one. It gets a 12. So it misses. Too nimble.
Be nimble, Jack. Be nimble.
Road,
Gotta be
it is your turn.
I'm just gonna-
Danger Noodles tends to strike. What are you gonna do?
Danger. Venom spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna slice and dice one more time.
Yeah, do it.
Fuck. It's an 8.
Okay. You missed. You're blocked by the spear.
no.
So no effect there. Torgor, maybe a maul in hand. You want to take another swing?
Oh, absolutely. Oh gosh,
You got 5. Good. Nice with your plus
strong
4.
5. Yeah,
So you got
my
a 1.
great +4.
Fantastic. Good.
Uh-huh.
Tack, your friends are doing a great job. It's your turn.
I've got 2 hit points. Like, even Tack knows when it's a bad time to criticize their friends for trying to save their life.
Mm-hmm.
So, even with an 8 wisdom, I know not to talk shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna do the same technique again. When Torgor swung,
Mm-hmm.
Tack's gonna come back around, try for that stab,
Uh-huh.
and then quickly disengage
Mhm.
right after.
An 11 is not enough.
Ooh.
Yep.
Well, disengage, run back behind Torgor.
Yep. The tack maneuver.
It's my tactical.
Yeah, just popping
Oh,
out, taking
God.
swings, falling back. So
This is a terrible idea.
Winnegar, on your turn, you bring the torch back into the room. Torgor, your light source is going away. It's getting like darker and darker as Winnegar gets away. But Winnegar, you run into the fungal garden, and yeah, there's the big central kind of pot with all the fungus in it. What do you want to do?
I want to yell out because that one does speak common, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I want to yell out and just say, "Hey, put down your weapons and stop fighting, or I'm gonna light this thing up."
Nice. Yeah. So you like hold the torch over towards the fungus,
Yeah.
and I think that I mean this fungus, we can see it like move away from the heat. We can see it like kind of
Oh, wow.
yeah, it definitely doesn't want that torch anywhere near it. And yeah, I think that we can see like the caps like shrinking from the light and stuff, and see like hold it threateningly towards it and shout that back towards the crawl. And what I think we're gonna do is we'll get you to roll an intimidate roll. I'll give you advantage, but we'll do that roll after we get back from our break.
Oh, that's a good break right there.
So with Winnegar threatening the Thalid cultivation chamber, we'll take our first break here, and when we get back, we'll find out how the crawl respond to being threatened with fire. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.